3, 2.
Call the city council meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Vining.
Here.
Germaine.
Here.
Lamore.
Excused.
Felder.
Here.
Hayter.
Here.
Stillgrave.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Present. I'd ask we all please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Guide us in our deliberations and discussions this evening. May our efforts promote the good of the residents of the city and all who visit.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item on the agenda is approval of regular agenda.
Thank you. City Manager Robinson, I think there's an item that you want to discuss.
Council, I would like to ask to amend the agenda. I'd like to add State Representative Brook with a proclamation, to add that at the beginning of the presentation, communications, and public hearings, above and prior to the two public hearings.
Very well. Anything else?
No, sir.
And we need a motion regarding the request to amend the agenda.
You're gonna not make a motion on the agenda.
It's a motion from Councilwoman Viney, supported by Councilwoman Stillgrave, that we amend the agenda. I'm sorry?
As stated by the city.
Oh, yeah. As the manager stated, adding a presentation from State Representative Bruck. And any other questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Vining.
Yes.
Germaine.
Yes.
Felder.
Yes.
Hayter.
Yes.
Stillgrave.
Yes.
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is the consent agenda, and for approval of payments, the amount should read $1,925,045.99, 125,045.99.
Thank you. Are there any items on the consent agenda that council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? Any items on the consent agenda, council, wish to have pulled? Seeing none, are there any items on the consent agenda those present here this evening wish to have pulled for further discussion? Any of the three items? And for those that may not be familiar, when a consent agenda comes up, the items that are listed there will be voted on collectively unless there's comments to be made. So if there's an item that you wish to speak on, and one of those three would be appropriate to ask to have it pulled. Seeing none, a motion be in order. Councilman Felder.
Yes, Your
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, recommendations carried out, and resolutions adopted.
Motion by Councilman Felder, supported by Councilwoman Stillgrave. All items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, recommendations carried out, and resolutions adopted. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Vining.
Yes.
Germaine.
Yes.
Felder.
Yes.
Hayter. Stillgrave.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is under presentations, communications, and public hearings. It is the amended item, State Representative William Bruck, and a proclamation.
Thank you. Representative, welcome this evening. Thank you for being here. I understand you have a presentation you'd like to make. That'd be wonderful.
Thank you, Mayor Clark and city council members. I do want to give a special tribute in honor of the Monroe Water Treatment Plant, 100 years of safeguarding health and community. So I read the newspaper article and was just intrigued as to the history of the water department. 100 years ago, it was inaugurated in 1924 amidst the typhoid fever epidemic. Its inception was in response to a critical need for clean, safe drinking water. So over the past century, our city water system here in Monroe has went from serving just a couple square miles, I believe, when it first started, to over 117 square miles at this point and serving 16,000 customers. It has pumped out a remarkable 185 million gallons of water since its inception, safe drinking water for the community. This is an outstanding achievement. I would also be remiss to mention Barry Leroy. He's mentioned in this proclamation and tribute. His 31 years at the helm of the Water Department, the innovations and the excellence that he has required and guided during the last 31 years. So with almost a third of the entire length of, I'm not trying to make you feel old, Mr. Leroy, but he's been at the helm for a third of the time it's been in existence, which is pretty amazing. In special tribute, therefore, as it celebrates its centennial, the Monroe Water Treatment Plant stands as a symbol of dedication, innovation, and community service. Its journey to a century has been marked by challenges, but through unwavering commitment and a spirit of excellence, it has emerged stronger and more resilient. We are honored and privileged to commend and honor the Monroe Water Treatment Plant upon its 100th anniversary and many achievements through these many years, as well as its stellar record of safeguarding health and community for a century plus a few days now. We wish this wonderful staple in our community much success and many more years to come. Signed, William Bruck, State Representative, 30th District, and Joe Bellino, State Senator for the 16th District, which both represent the city. So I would ask if Barry Leroy could come up and
Wonderful.
accept this on behalf of the city.
Director Leroy.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's we like
Hold
to.
for photos.
I guess we.
Great job, buddy.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Representative Bruck, Barry, and I know you've had opportunities to speak before, so I see you're sitting down, so we'll move along. But you're welcome to say anything, maybe later. All right, thank you. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is item 4525, public hearing to receive and review comments on the proposed Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. And there are no comments on file in the clerk's office.
Okay, this is for the block, or so the block grant annual action plan, the Community Development Block Grant Fund. So at this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 4525. Any comments from those present here this evening regarding the CDBG Annual Action Plan 2024-2025 and the Annual Action Plan? Any comments from those present here this evening? Seeing no comments, I'll close the public hearing. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is item 4530, public hearing to receive and review comments on proposed ordinance 24-001 to establish Chapter 483 Park Regulations. And there are no comments on file in the clerk treasurer's office.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 4530, public hearing proposed ordinance 24-001, Chapter 483, the Park Regulations. Any comments from those present here this evening regarding this public hearing? Any comments from those present? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is item 4473, proposed ordinance 24-001, an ordinance to establish Chapter 483 Park Regulations is up for its final reading.
Thank you. City Manager Robinson, I know we've had the discussions on this. It's been presented to council for review. Any additional comments this evening?
No, Your Honor, it's just our hope, the administrators' hope that we conduct the second reading and we adopt this ordinance upon the end of the evening.
Any comments or questions from council? Seeing none, a motion would be in order. Councilwoman Germaini.
I'll make a motion, propose ordinance 24-001, an ordinance to establish Chapter 483 Park Regulations of the Code of the City of Monroe. Move to place the ordinance in ordinance to set, oh, that's a double, sorry.
There's a motion by Councilman Germaini, supported by Councilman Hayter on item 4473, proposed ordinance 24-001. No further comments, clerk?
And just to confirm, this is just to place it on the floor for
Correct.
its second reading.
Yep.
Councilperson Vining?
Yes.
Germaini?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Hayter? Stillgrave?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Ordinance 24-001, Chapter 483 Park Regulations. An ordinance to establish Chapter 483 Park Regulations of the Code of the City of Monroe. The City of Monroe ordains.
Shall this ordinance pass?
Councilperson Vining?
Yes.
Germaini?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Hayter? Stillgrave? Mayor Clark?
Yes. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is item 4526, Congressional Directed Spending Request Submittal Authorization.
Thank you. Manager Robinson.
Honor and Council, on this item, the Michigan Congressional Delegation reached out to us to inform us, and it's Senator Peters' office, that once again permitted members to submit community projects for federal funding. Our office, the administration met with Senator Peters' office, and we presented numerous projects that we have going on in the city. And there were three that, in discussing with Senator Peters and his aides, there are three separate projects that would fit the different fiduciary areas within the federal government that may be, the agencies that may fit what he's willing to support. One of them was the downtown geometric road modification analysis. And the second would be the funding to close the funding gap of the ALCC project. And the third would be to realignment of Detroit Avenue to create a new Battlefield Parkway. Those three projects was what they felt would be good for us to submit, and we're seeking authorization from City Council to go ahead and submit those requests.
Okay, so I understand there's a timeline that I'll say the community projects are working on, and obviously it's for us now, and there's much discussion that we have as a council will have, but the timeline for these submissions is kind of imminent.
Yes, the timelines between when the senator's office needs those projects to submit them was before we were ready to bring like the geometric modification analysis to the downtown traffic. It was before we're done analyzing that to bring it to council in a presentation in a future meeting. So we're just asking to put in there, and if after our discussions with council in the next couple of meetings over this geometric road modification analysis, we can always reach back out to there and pull that project should council decide that's not something they're wanting to seek funding for.
So there's time for council still to have the discussion, and I'll just say not to complicate the submissions to the community projects through Senator Peters' office before they're actually kind of vetted through that process and even considered for funding, because sometimes funds don't get past the I'll just say the committee leadership as well, right?
That's exactly.
So I know that as we've had a discussion on some of our topics that are going to be forthcoming here quickly, this was one of those, but even maybe the other two. And so as we have those, there's still opportunities to weigh in on that as a council. Correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Councilman Felder.
I understand that as part of these requests, we're not guaranteed anything. And so this is not any of our A-list projects, because anything that's funding critical has to go forward regardless of whatever the determination at the federal level happens. So this is kind of our B-list projects, was my understanding in the reading of this. I think that the city manager did a good job explaining the potential opinions that may arise regarding the first issue. I want clarification on the Battlefield project. This is the one that closes, this is the one that is proposed to close Elm Avenue between Detroit and Dixie. Is that correct?
No, I believe this is the one that reroutes Detroit Avenue as it goes south. It would reroute it to the east, and it would curve down close there, so it wouldn't divide the Battlefield grounds. It would be to eliminate the division between where the national battlefield is on both sides of Detroit.
Yeah, that's correct. So as Detroit Avenue extends south to Elm Avenue, it's a straight run, and there's two portions of property that are within the area of the National Battlefield Park and potential use. It simply reroutes it around to still go to Elm Avenue and be available. It's just in a different way, so the property can be adjoined versus being separated with a road through the middle.
There are parts of the battlefield that exist on the east side of Detroit Avenue. Is that my understanding?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
those parcels have been long within the plan and been and part of the access for use, but it's just, it sits over there on the other side of Detroit Avenue, and this would kind of give the opportunity to bring things together in that portion. That's what that is, correct.
Okay.
Other questions from council?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to grant authorization for the Economic and Community Development Department to submit the 3 congressional directed spending requests and the city manager to sign all required documents and adopt a resolution of support.
There's a motion by Councilman Hayter, supported by Councilman Stalegrave on item 4526, the congressional direct spending request submittal authorization. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Vining? Yes. Jermaine?
Yes.
Felder? Yes. Hayter? Stillgrave? Yes. Mayor Clark?
Yes.
I have no other items this evening.
Other items, we'll go to council comments, and it is March, so Councilwoman Vining, comments this evening. Very well. Councilwoman Germaine.
Well, I'm glad that Will is here, Representative. I wanted to congratulate you on your Legion of Merit Award that you just received. Proud to have you as our representative. And also, Saturday is, I don't know if there's any tickets left, but Wonder Woman Day. Kelly, do you remember what it's called? At the ALCC. 10 to 2. Tickets are $10. And it's speakers, massages, everything for, I think there were a few men there last year, but it was a great event. If you can go, it's time well spent. The ALCC, go to the website, see if there's any tickets left. They're $10, 10 to 2. You get a great lunch, and it's a full morning and late afternoon. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilman Felder.
Yes, Your Honor. Was very happy to participate in the Goals and Objectives session this past Saturday. Well, 2 Saturdays ago, I suppose. That's always a big meeting, and I look forward to having more time to discussing more thoroughly some of the issues that were brought up there. And I believe that there's probably going to be some work sessions or additional meetings that are going to be a result as a part of that as we solidify some plans going forward. Want to congratulate again the water treatment plant on its 100-year anniversary. I was able to make it out for the celebration and get a tour of the plant rather. That was the first time I had to tour the plant the entire time I've been in the city. I've not made my way out there since I've been on council, so I was happy to make the time to do that. And then finally, I want to congratulate Monroe Public Schools on their wind ensemble getting straight ones at festival at MSBOA. I had the pleasure of recording them this past weekend, so that was a joy. That's all the comments I have for this evening, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilman Hayter.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would also like to thank everybody, council and administration, for the participation in the goals and objectives. That was a great meeting, and look forward to many more meetings like that. And then the only other thing I got is this weekend, Saturday night at Motor City Casino, Monroe's very own Derek D. Mills Miller will be fighting for the WBC championship. So get out there and support Monroe's very own.
Thank you for that. Councilwoman Stalegrave.
I have nothing, Your Honor,
Thank you. So just a couple of comments. I follow with Councilman Felder and Hayter on the goals and objectives. I thought the session was productive. I know that we received back some information just as a compilation. I do look forward to the further discussion that we'll have as a council to kind of work through those goals and make sure that they're what our priorities are is going forward in the next 2 years, and also the objectives, and as they're not only attainable, measurable, and we provide that then to the manager. I know that he has some tasks yet that come back to us with that, and then of course our facilitators. And if there's things and items that you have, please forward those along, and we'll be prepared for those discussion. The last thing I'll have is Next week is the Michigan Municipal League's Capital Conference. I know that's probably pretty filled if you're not already in, but if there's some changes to anybody's schedule and the opportunities there, please contact Pat Weaver. She'll be able to go through there and advise whether there's availability still to attend it if it meets your schedule moving forward. And that's the comments I have this evening. Clerk Treasurer LaVoy.
I just wanted to thank everyone, the residents, the voters, the election inspectors, and staff here at City Hall, not just in my office, but DPS was also very helpful with getting things set up. But everybody at City Hall was patient with the election. We had a really good election day. The police were also very helpful, stopped in at each precinct to make sure everyone felt safe and secure. So we move towards August, and there will be further discussion about that. And also just a reminder, the City of Monroe is not collecting property tax payments at this time. The deadline passed on February 29th. That was the last day to pay taxes. And right now we're in settlement before things move to the county. We will be letting you know through social media, and I'll make the announcement here when you can go to the county and pay your city taxes when that time comes, which will be sometime about mid-March. And that's all I have.
Thank you. City Manager Robinson, comments this evening.
I'd first like to congratulate the city clerk for not only running a really good election, but also the early voting. I think it went very successfully. And also congratulate Barry Leroy and the water department. I think I attended one of the tours, and I found it fascinating as well. And I was surprised at the people that came out to actually tour it and see the magic that happens there. And I think it was really good. And I congratulate you. You guys did a great job in the tour and being very informational to the people and being Johnny on the spots to answer the questions. It was excellent. So thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to citizens' comments, I do want to add one more item because Clerk LaVoy and Manager Robinson mentioned about the voting. You know, it was without the clerk treasurer and the staff and the workers here to be able to put that together. But also equally important is the volunteers that we receive. Volunteers from our communities that serve on our boards and commissions. And I know we see them as we hold the commission meeting regarding the elections, how many names and people we have and what it takes to actually manage and successfully run the election. So my congrats again to Clerk LaVoy, but also to the staff and then our volunteers. And there's always opportunities that we have here, as I say, boards and commissions and service. So thank you. So next is comments by those present here this evening. If there's any comments present from those here, I'd ask you please step forward, state your name and your jurisdiction of residence, and be mindful of the rules of the chamber of how we manage the meeting so the clerk can clearly hear, but also the time frame's of 3 minutes. So if there's anybody here this evening that wishes to make comments, just please step forward. Comments from those present here this evening? Yes, sir.
My name is John Wenzel. I'm a retiree of the city of Monroe. I live at 15433 Albin Road in Petersburg, Michigan. I applaud Barry Leroy for the work he's done with the river dam removal project. I applaud the work he has done at the water department. I'm a whistleblower for the city of Monroe. The wastewater department was engaged in sludge dumping, which we turned the city in for. Tens of thousands of gallons of raw sludge were dumped into Lake Erie with the city's knowledge. When a pipe broke, they let it go. Didn't call employees in, we turned them into the state. It was unacceptable. Nate Carr was fired, and there's a whistleblower lawsuit going on over that. Poor guy will never be able to work again. Terrible thing. I retired. I had to retire. I had to take a medical retirement because of that. And, it needs to be settled. It needs to be taken care of. And Monroe needs to stop polluting. Monroe needs to staff their plant in a way to make sure that secondary poop doesn't flow out of their plant into Lake Erie ever again. It's inappropriate. It's happened for a decade. And imagine if you were living in Toledo. Imagine if your grandkids couldn't turn their tap on. How terrible is that? You own a piece of it. Maybe you didn't, but you are the council. It's your baby. Have a nice day.
Thank you for your comments. Other comments from those present here this evening? Yes, sir. Representative.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. William Bruck, Erie, Michigan. I just wanted to give a little short legislative update. As many of you seen, it was in the newspaper recently. PA 5 was signed by the governor about 2 weeks ago that established Captain Joseph M. Lidl Memorial Highway. So we have some forthcoming announcements once we get the signage up. It's all been paid for. We have to coordinate with MDOT to get that installed, and then they're going to be doing a unveiling ceremony. And I know James Lidl worked for the city for 30 plus years in the fire department, and he was the father of Joseph Lidl. So there's a connection here in the city, as well as, to support our service personnel each and every day. I do have a committee hearing tomorrow regarding some legislation with the highways, trying to regulate some of the heavy truck traffic and regulating it to the right 2 lanes on a 3-lane or more highway. So I just wanted to kind of let you know about that. Staying very, very busy, going to many different community events and trying to get out as much as I can. I was at the MCOP meeting at the Arthur Leslow Center the other night, and that was very good to see what's happening there, and even at the college to see Andrew's father up there. That was a wonderful concert, by the way, at the college. But I just want you to know that I am, when you need me with the highway issue with Elm Street and that, if you need me involved, please reach out, get me involved. I have meeting with Troy, the director of MDOT, tomorrow regarding the bill that we have up in hearing tomorrow. But definitely, if you need me to help with that, I stand ready to assist and make sure that we keep the exits and entrances that we have as much as possible to help the city and help the port and help this community. So I appreciate everything. Thank you again for allowing me to speak twice now. So thank you very
Representative
much.
Bruck.
And
appreciate it for being
thank you,
here.
Michelle, for the comments as well. Yeah, my career is done. It was a nice cap to get a very nice award from the military. Did not expect that after being retired since last July. So it's very, very nice to cap off my career in the military with that Legion of Merit. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Other comments from those present here this evening? Further comments from those present? Yes, sir. Please step forward. Name and jurisdiction of residence, please.
Yes, my name is Kenny Brooks. I live at 512 West 8th Street. I was here just about a year ago about the terrible traffic problem on West 8th. The fellow I talked to says, we'll look into it, have patience. Well, I was back here in November, but I guess it held the meeting earlier or something because I missed it. And I been in contact with my neighbors, and they're as fed up with this as I am. And we got to talking, and what we would like is a stop sign put at West 8th and Bacon, or West 8th and Adams. I brought a little sign here. These people, they take off from Union and they barrel down here. These people, Bacon Street right here, they tear off that corner all day long and see how fast they can get to Monroe Street. So we would like a stop sign put at Adams and West 8th. At least it's gonna slow them down this way. And if they tear out this corner, they gotta stop. Somebody is gonna get killed. And I'd also, if you indulge me for a couple minutes, when I was here in November, I was really kind of offended. I was standing out here, and a police officer come up here, asked me what my business was, what I'm doing carrying this. So I started explaining it to him, and he literally told me the council is not going to do anything about it. The mayor's not going to do anything about it. And I swear to you right here, that is the words that he said to me. And I didn't think that was very appropriate. I don't know who he was. He knew who I was because he said to me, he said, well, we looked into your, he said, we looked into your claims and didn't find anything. And I went back and I told my neighbors about it, and they're hot. And we're just, one guy says he's selling. He's not going to put up with it. He said he don't care if he takes a beating on his house. I mean, just think, if you lived there, would you like to put up with that? I don't think so. And to tell me that the final claims, there's been an accident. My neighbor, car ended up in her front yard. And a car run the stop sign at Adams, hit a car coming up West 8th. He spun off, went between the tree and the house on the corner, hit her house, come back down on Adams, and rolled his truck over on top.
Okay.
Now, evidently, this whoever he is didn't investigate very much.
All right, Kenny, what I hear, because be mindful of everybody's time here this evening also. I hear three things that you're saying. One, obviously you think by your statements in your rendering there about speeders that are on West 8th Street and your request, and you believe the solution is a stop sign. That's first thing. Second is there was a comment from an officer as you were here then at November meeting. In a conversation that you did not appreciate or wasn't in a fashion you thought it should have been. And the third thing is it appears to be accidents. So I can see the city manager over there, Mr. Robinson, is writing notes down. He will be following up on those three items as we sit here as a council, and will report back to us. And there's traffic counts, there's, I'm sure, speed counts that we can do. There's a variety of things we can do to obtain additional information, as well as, whether it be traffic crashes and the type in which they are. So if you want, you're welcome to see Mr. Robinson before you depart here this evening. Make sure he has a phone number to contact you if you wish to leave that, and that way he can get back with you.
Is there a traffic committee or something?
There is a
that I
traffic
heard of?
committee, and we get recommendations from residents and also from the staff to put things on the traffic committee, but you need to have the information there with it. And we have people that come with the traffic committee and they want a stop sign, and what the traffic committee usually does is we listen to what that is, and we have to have the same thing that I'm asking Mr. Robinson to get for us, which is the data of what the traffic volume is, whether the traffic crashes, the speeds. There's a way to determine that. So that's what the traffic committee, and the traffic committee then is a committee that makes recommendations to council. They can't just simply change the traffic ordinance and impose something without the council's authority to approve. So, it's two different ways to get there. And I think that, since Mr. Robinson's here, rather than waiting for a meeting next month or when it might be, he can get it started. And if there's things that have some merit for looking forward to the traffic committee to do a review before it comes to council, that would work. Okay?
Okay,
Make sure you speak with Mr. Robinson before you go, okay?
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Other comments from those present here this evening? Further comments citizens, residents' comments? Seeing none, a motion would be in order. To adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Germaine, supported by Councilman Felder to adjourn. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vining? Yes. Jermaine? Yes. Felder? Yes. Hayter? Yes. Stilgrave?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.